don't know me, the non-Altice people, my name is John Gosowski, and I have responsibility for data product management, or connectivity product management, I like to call it sometimes, for SMBs predominantly, but I do work for the mid-market and enterprise verticals as well. So we're here to talk to you today about a product we're getting ready to launch called LTE Backup, LTE Wireless Backup. And it's something that, we were just talking a little bit before about everybody working from home remotely due to the pandemic that we have going on. And one thing that's really resonated is the internet connectivity. We all knew it was very important and crucial before, but now it's just gotten that much more important, as more and more people are working from home, and they just need that connectivity continuity that they're used to having in the office. So it's just as many uses for an LTE wireless backup product. So some of the drivers, like what's happening today, just to give you a little bit of a frame out the whole climate. If you could go to slide 4, Laura. So we know some of these you've probably cloud adoption. I think everybody knows this. 88% of businesses have already moved a lot of their data and applications to the cloud. So they now rely more on internet connectivity than ever, and it's just going to grow twofold as we move forward. One of the interesting stats that I don't know if a lot of people are aware of is that the 65% of organizations require an hour or more to resolve an issue when they lose internet connectivity, and that's very impactful because you think about it. I'm a small business. Maybe I'm running a pizza restaurant, and my prime hours of operation are between about 11 and 2 in the afternoon, where I'm processing many credit cards during the course of that 4 hours. And to lose an internet connection is it's lost revenue, but it's also extremely frustrating for customers. It's very frustrating for the owner themselves and the employees because they know that now I've got to call to see what the issue is. Is it some kind of a network issue? Is it a cut cable? Is it like a global outage that's specific to me? And how long is it going to take to restore it? And now you have to scramble and figure out how you're going to keep your business moving and not lose customers because of the outage. And then the other key stat is when we talk about lost revenue, there's about $40 billion in productivity lost as a cause of internet outages in 2020 so far. All right, so obviously the benefits of the having a backup service, internet service is pretty much you could figure that out just from what I just said. Okay, I don't want to lose revenue. I want to make sure I maintain my internet connectivity. I don't need the interruptions. I can't stop what's going on in my business, especially during my hours when I'm making my most revenue and sales. The whole stress factor. When is it going to be restored? Do I have to be here? Do we have to, when's, what's the story? And then there's the whole customer satisfaction issue where, I've seen it before as a regular customer. Things slow down, I can't get a connection, and people start walking out of the store. So again, with the customer satisfaction, but again, with the lost revenue. All right. All right, next slide. All right, so key takeaways. When the internet goes down, the businesses come to a grinding halt. Can't process credit cards, customers get irritated by delays, employees become less productive. For every minute a customer, a business is without revenue, every minute they're without internet service is lost revenue. So they need a backup internet solution to protect against this loss of internet connectivity. All right, so this is a needed thing. So the solution is LTE wireless backup. So if you go to slide 8, Laura. So we have our objective is to provide SMBs with a low cost and highly effective backup solution for the internet service. The strategy was to provide a solution that's unavailable and unmatched by the competition, and to have an overall value proposition of the data product offering to Altice SMB customers, which is now, we would say, Suddenlink, Optimum, and Lightpath customers in the new world. So, the key tactic is, and I think this is the leading, thing that I've been speaking with our salespeople about, is it's the one question is, what happens to your internet when you lose, what happens to your business when you lose internet connectivity? All right, so Laura, if you can go to slide 10.
Yep. And John, I was also going to mention to the participants here, you guys feel free to interject with questions and that sort of thing. I think John is now going to get into the kind of the details of what our offering is and kind of how you can compare it to other options that you might have on your plate.
Yeah, so the hardware that we provide it's the in-router 615S is the model number. And what really the secret sauce about this device, where it's really not just the device, it's really the SIM card and the customized software that's included with it, is it has an eSIM router, which has the capability of having 3 or multiple carriers on it at the same time. We have Verizon Wireless, AT&T, and T-Mobile loaded onto the SIM card. And what's different about our solution versus the competition, and this is a very huge differentiator, is the fact that this device scans real time and searches for the best wireless carrier at all times. It doesn't. So upon activation, and I know you see with like Cradlepoint with other providers of this solution, it's always like, yeah, we support multiple carriers, but they only support one carrier at a time. So what it means is they can load a SIM card from AT&T, and once it locks on, Cradlepoint devices typically come with 2 SIM card slots. So you put AT&T and Verizon Wireless in it. Upon activation, it will choose the best carrier between the 2 of them. Once it chooses that carrier, it locks onto that carrier and it doesn't switch again. Ours, it doesn't work like that. First of all, it's 1 SIM card, and on that SIM card, it's got 3 wireless carriers loaded onto it. So it real time continuously searches for the best carrier at all times. And so the vendor that we're partnered with, I've even seen it real time in a portal where I've watched it switch from AT&T to T-Mobile right before my eyes. So you can almost think of it as, anybody who's familiar with SD-WAN, it's almost like SD-WAN for wireless, connectivity. It just always searches for the best possible route, best possible connectivity at all times. That's a patented technology that can't be offered by anybody else other than the vendor that we're partnered with, which is called 10T Solutions. There is a battery backup that can be purchased. It's an optional. It's optional, but it does. It's rated for 8 hours of running time. Of course, that's always dependent upon what exactly is plugged into that device. And the price of it is $119.95. So that's something that the customer would purchase on their own.
John, that $119.95, that's an additional NRC or a one-time charge to the end customer? Okay.
Correct. Right. Yep. And then they own it. It's theirs. They could use it for anything they want, really. But it's for what the battery is, and I actually have one here as a demo battery. It's a good battery. I mean, it's not. It's a very good commercial grade battery, and I've used it myself just testing it. I have experienced outages, and it does hold. Well, it holds all day. I mean, it's not a problem at all. So as far as availability and pricing overview, really it's for SMB new acquisition existing customers, but there have been some enterprise applications, that we've sold it to and we will sell it to. It all depends on the use case, but it's predominantly for SMB-sized locations. So, like a retail store, like a branch office, small branch office, something like that. It does not support static IP, and it can use either a coax or a fiber connection. It doesn't matter. It's just looking for internet connectivity. and we're looking to launch it the first quarter of next year. It'll be available in both the Optimum Suddenlink footprints from day one, but it can be sold as an over-the-top. So it doesn't mean that the customer needs to be an Optimum or a Suddenlink customer. They could be, a customer of AT&T or Verizon or CenturyLink or whatever, as long as there are Optimum and Suddenlink customers involved. You can't, that's the only one business rule. The MRC is $69.95 per month. There is a one-time activation fee of $99.95 per month. That's for the service itself. And the equipment is included with the MRC. So there's no additional equipment rental fee or anything like that. It's just $69.95. As I said, it does support AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon Wireless. It includes unlimited data, and it is a self-install configuration. So it's a very easy plug and play. Comes pre-activated. It has a quick start guide included with it, so the customer just follows. There's like 4 or 5 steps in the instructions to hook it up. It's very simple. And the other thing I should have noted on here that I will point out is we do not throttle the data, so the data is not throttled. That's a huge one, because a lot, as you'll see in the next slide, a lot of the other.
John, before I switch to the slide, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I pulled up, there's a couple of questions in the chat now. They're asking if there are any plans to enable static IP in the future, or if it will, for the failover, it will only be dynamic.
Right now, it's still going to be dynamic. It's really not something that we've really looked at very closely right now. It's very difficult to do because it switches networks, and that's, just we have to figure out a way, how to make that work. But you look at, when you purchase a static IP, like you purchase it from Altice, we have a pool of IPs, we sell them to you, and that's your static IP. If you fail over to an LTE wireless backup solution, you're on a completely different network. You're on a wireless network. So to have, I'm told there could possibly be a way to do it through natting, but that's an engineering thing that just hasn't been developed yet.
All right, and then the other question they had is, can the device be set to pass through for clients with firewalls so that it would continue to work with their firewall?
Well, the way you would hook this up, it's designed to be in series as the standard configuration. So you have the cable modem, and then this device plugs into a LAN port on the cable modem, and then that cable plugs into the WAN port on the LTE wireless device, and anything that you want to back up is connected into one of the 4 available LAN ports on the LTE device. So the answer is yes. It is a pass-through. It only kicks over and provides connectivity.
All right. The next question on here, is there a contract length on this, or are they month to month? What does that look like when they add it on?
When it's so in the enterprise world where we do contracts, it is part of an existing contract. In the SMB world, we don't have contracts, so we, like a regular Optimum or Suddenlink, it would be a month to month. All right, so if you see as the, let me point. There we go. Competitively, if you look, there's if you look at Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, Spectrum, Cox, Comcast has a solution. Theirs is $49.95 per month. They have a one-time activation fee of $99.95 per month, just like we do. Their data is unlimited as well, but they do throttle the data at 25 megs down. They don't have the best, we call what I mentioned before about the ability to choose real time between the best available carrier. We call it best network selection. And we're the only, again, being a patented technology, we're the only ones that have it. So Comcast supports Verizon Wireless and AT&T, and they use the cradle point device that I referred to. So it has the 2 SIM card slots in it, and then it just uses the best carrier upon activation, and then just stays there. AT&T does have this solution. It's $10 a month. They do use a cradle point device. But that $10 a month, they don't sell it as a standalone service. You have to buy one of their internet speed tier plans to get it. So it's a little bit of an illusion, that $10 a month. Just to keep that in mind, that's kind of a big point there. And for some reason, the asterisk in that language didn't carry over. I must not have pasted it over correctly or something. But Verizon does not offer a solution at all. And then Spectrum just launched a solution in October. Theirs is $19.95 per month, but they do throttle the data at 10 megs down. They're using Verizon Wireless, and it's a Cradlepoint device. So yes, it's less expensive, but they're locked in with one carrier only, and the speeds are very, very low on it. So if you look at like what we're offering, we're a little more expensive. However, we're providing a much cleaner and robust solution. So we're seeing speeds in the 40 to 50 meg down range, and about anywhere from 15 to 25 up. That's so good that all the tests that we've done, we've had a couple of trial participants. When they fail over, nobody even knows it happened. All right, and the other bullet points I touched upon, those are already. So as I mentioned, very easy to use. It's very simple to set up. It's plug and play. You follow the quick start guide, you plug it in, and it just does its thing. So it automatically, the way it works, once it's plugged in, it automatically detects when the primary connection is lost. It will automatically fail over, and then when the primary connection is restored, it automatically fails back. And that time to fail over when the primary connection is lost is about anywhere from 8 to 10 seconds, and when it fails back, it's roughly a little bit, about 10 to 12 seconds, roughly, give or take. But it happens in a way that it doesn't cause any interruption to the business at all. Again, using all three wireless carriers at all times obviously guarantees that the customer is getting the best coverage and the fastest speed possible available with a wireless solution. There's no overages on data. It's unlimited data, so there's nothing for the customer to worry about if they do happen to fail over. And as far as if there's a power outage, if they purchase the battery backup, even if there's a power outage, they'll maintain internet connectivity. Just as a note, we've made the battery backup an optional item because we do have a lot of customers that already have a backup solution in the event of a power outage. So it was one of those things we didn't want to, force it down their throat unless they absolutely needed it. All right, so just some things, what it does. It gives the customer an LTE wireless backup solution. Maintains internet connectivity for non-static IP applications, and it provides internet connectivity in the event of outages caused by cut cables, failed modems, or a network provider issue. What it does not do is it's not intended to be a primary connection, although we've had quite a few requests on this one. However, we can provide it as an ICB, individual case basis, depending on what the use case is. We can develop a customized price plan and a customized offer for that, but that's not the primary product. And again, it doesn't back up or maintain static IP applications. And the device, it will not provide internet connectivity in the event of a power outage unless there's a battery backup or another backup power solution. All right. So the key takeaways: it's a low-cost solution that ensures the SMB that the SMB customer maintains internet connectivity. It includes unlimited data with no overages for the customer, and there's also no throttling of speeds. This is a very much a proprietary solution. It's unmatched by our competitors. And the fact, again, I have to keep stressing the fact that we utilize at all times all three major wireless carriers is a huge differentiator.
John, can I ask a question here? So when we reference our internal reference to SMB versus enterprise, basically we're just referencing that this is a cellular failover And, you know, like IBM's corporate headquarters, obviously it's not enough bandwidth for that, right? But
right. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a good example. But you know, like with that one opportunity that we had, that's a good one where I think it was Sam's Club. That was, you know, that would be considered an enterprise customer just due to their large locations, they're a large customer.
right,
You know, that's one we're saying, like, yeah, I mean, it could be a wireless backup solution for those customers. It just depends on what they want to do with it. But it could
right.
also be that primary connection, as we spoke about with the video kiosk. It just all depends on, you know, what it is they're trying to do. So that's why it's just an individual case basis on that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll pause there. Are there any questions? Any other questions? All right. And then the rest of the slides, we just get into selling LTE backup. Just some key questions to ask, you know, some probing questions. And, you know, I think the biggest lead question, if I was a salesperson, would be, you know, what exactly happens to your business when you lose internet connectivity? I mean, I know when I'm working from home, what happens when I lose internet connectivity. It's like you're going crazy. You know, it's like,
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
For one, what exactly is the patent that we have that no one else has on this product?
The patent is the multi-SIM, the multi-carrier best network selection is the patent.
And what exactly? But it basically picks the best bandwidth available, the highest grade, I guess, the highest speed. It'll pick the highest speed that's available.
It's based on signal strength and speed, right? So if the signal strength starts to weaken, once it crosses a certain threshold, it automatically starts scanning for the other two carriers.
And how does that differ from what anyone else has? I mean,
they can't do that. They don't do that. Once it locks on one carrier, that's it. It doesn't search for the best signal. It's that you get what you get. They can't.
I thought that most of the SD-WANs that I guess.
Jeff, you're confusing SD-WAN with LTE. Don't blend those two here. This is.
Sorry, I start drifting into the SD-WAN world.
Yeah, you were headed down that path.
Because my next question was going to be, if it doesn't support an IP address, how does it work with like banking, like credit card machines, things like that? Because those are pretty much. But you just answered that, because basically an LTE would not do that. Is that correct?
Most POS systems are using dynamic IPs. They're usually, you know, that's typically what. Yeah, I mean that's actually one of the biggest use cases that customers have used it for, from other carriers like that have already deployed the solution, particularly Comcast.
And John, there is another question here in the chat that asks, is the router included in the monthly subscription, or is there a separate purchase price? So if you can kind of discuss the two plans again and hit on those, what the options are.
Yeah, it's $69.95 per month. That includes the router and the data, unlimited data. Okay. The only other cost is if the customer wants it, the battery backup, which is $119.95.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Are there any other questions?
We're a reseller. Will this be available through Telarus as well?
Yes, this is available in the agent community. It's in its beta launch right now. It will be general availability in Q1.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and Laura, I do have to go. I mean, do you want to run through the sales piece of it? Well, of it, or you want to? I mean, I could try to run through it real quick if you want.
Okay.
All right. So.
Did I go too fast?
No. I really touched on this slide already. I mean, You know, I mean, I think we get it. Um, so, I mean, you know, again, it's like just some key questions. And these are questions that I've actually accumulated through other MSOs that have deployed. Again, it's Comcast and Charter, and some of these are, you know, ones that we've developed on our own. But a lot of them are, you know, do you have an existing backup solution? Do you use a lot of cloud-based applications? Do you use applications that require a static IP address? And if so, do they need to be backed up in the event of an outage?
Okay.
This doesn't do it, but you want to find out if they have it, so just so you don't sell them something that it doesn't support. You know, the other thing is, you know, does your staff know what to do in the event of an outage? How often do you lose internet connectivity, and how would having an internet backup solution help improve your business?
Right.
Again, when your internet goes down, how long does it take to restore service? How long are you on the phone with support? Probably a while. How many customers do you lose when your internet goes down? How many lost sales and revenue happen as a result?
Right.
You know, so how many? Yeah, we could skip. I think we kind of covered that just in the sake of time. That one there, but you know, again, it's just everybody's always concerned about price, but the benefits outweigh the price. And it's just re-emphasizing exactly what this does for them in the event of an outage. And I can say that MSOs that have deployed this solution, they have done extremely well selling this. It's been a very, very easy sale, and I think it's like just pretty obvious that the customer needs it. And I think you're going to start seeing this migrate from the B2B world into the B2C world as well, just again because so many people are working from home and will continue to work from home.
Right.
All right. I mean, and I would say, yeah, if you want to like go that, I mean, probably just the business rules, I would say, just to, you know, reemphasize, which is slide 24. I can, you know, yeah, the primary targets is good too. I'm sorry. But I will say everybody needs this. But there are, you know, some verticals have really, really, you know, jumped out, and those were retail stores and fast restaurants, particularly fast food restaurants, like a pizza shop.
Right.
So again, just to go over the rules, it does not support static IP applications. It's available in the east and west footprints for Altice. It's not to be used anywhere other than the customer's business location, and it's not to be used as the customer's primary internet connection. We do get reports of the data usage. We can tell if a customer is using it as a primary connection just based off of the data being used, and there is language written into the T's and C's that speak to that. Okay. It's one LTE wireless gateway device per modem, router, or gateway. There's no limitation, so if the customer has 2 modems, they can get 2 of these devices. There's no required internet speed for this product. We do say that data is unlimited. However, you know, as I was alluding to, if the usage goes above 2 gigs per month, we typically forecast that a customer will use anywhere from 500 megs to a gig per month based of previous deployments by other MSOs. But if they go above, we're using 2 gig as the alert to find out if there's any issues with the customer's modem itself, if they have any other large outage in the area. So it's also been working very well as a proactive type of strategy for customers. And the speeds are not throttled, so you know they get the full whatever the devices, whatever that carrier is able to deliver at that location. They'll get the full bandwidth. And again, it's predominantly designed for SMBs, but again, it just depends on use case. We can definitely sell it to a MEC customer.
All right, very good. So John, it is available. You know, Q1 2021 is in about 15 days. You know, from now, it is available to the agent community to sell as an add-on product. It can be sold to locations that are both Altice, which, you know, Optimum Suddenlink, and locations which are not Altice. So they could sell it across an entire footprint of a customer, even if that customer does not have service with Altice. And there is no commission or payout in the agent world that is a downgrade or whatever term you want to use there in your commissioning piece. It would be commissioned just as are the other Altice products.
Yeah.
John, is there a option that the customer could pay our to use this as their primary gateway? You know, if they're just far away.
Yeah, that would be an individual case basis, and it's going to be it's expensive if they want it as a primary connection. That's the bottom line. It's going to be a little costly.
We just have some out in West Texas, especially natural gas and oil tanks that are so about any connection that they use very small amounts of data.
Yeah, I mean, we're not saying no. We would just have to see who the customer is, what they do. We could definitely generate very good forecasts, on depending what the customer does. We get a pretty good idea of data usage. We could definitely come up with a pricing plan that would, fit their needs. We can do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right, Laura, I do have to drop. I don't know if there's any more questions, but yeah, Laura, you're on mute.
Yep, there we go. All right. We appreciate everybody joining us today. You guys will ask one more time, any other questions or comments before we wrap up?
No,
I'm good. This is Hunter with connectivity. I'm good. Thank y'all for your time today.
All right. Thank you. Somebody else have a comment or a question? I thought I heard someone else.
we can get a copy of the presentation.
Yes, I will send out a copy of the presentation. There will also be a copy of this recording if anybody needs it after the fact to go back and revisit or to share with any of your other employees or sub-agents or all that work with you. All right. If we don't talk to you again before then, everyone have a happy holiday and a Merry